Busting open a 2-0 lead in the series is Shopify Rebellion. Descendant, though, answers back, and boy, is he nasty with this knife.
4 kills already? Bro, two headshots?
5. Oh, caster curse. No, he's not going to get that slay on the green hall. Oh, just wait a sec.
My
Suppress
God.
will go down. A killing spree to start here.
Everybody has their own way of playing the game. If like one of my teammates are slower paced, that's fine. One of my teammates are faster paced, like that's fine.
Yeah, so this is good, patient gameplay out of Descendant.
I want us to get on the same page as a team during team situations, not like how we individually play stuff.
Through the window and the
Oh my God,
monsters just
Descendants!
ripping their face off.
So with this team, it's mainly just like timing our fights, timing our pushes, making sure that we're like being strong players and staying alive on the map, giving ourselves opportunities to live.
He gets another nasty
There's good deaths and bad deaths, but like it's so much better to live. It's so much more beneficial for the team, especially if you're living in like good positions and good scenarios.
Right now, he's been popping off.
Bro, this kid
A spree! 5 shots, 5 snipes, all headshots. Descendant is a madman with the snipe.
What the? Yo, he is killing it right now.
All right, what is up, Mr. Descendant? I know you got on a new team. You know, you're moving into Worlds this year as well, which is great. And we all love watching you. So how are you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. Like
Okay.
I'm liking my team. I like my team a lot actually.
Yeah. I mean, you got Ezo, you got Piggy, you got Mr. Envor.
Ezo, he hates being called Easy Ho or Ezo.
I think, man, he's a cool up and comer. I mean, we've known him. He's played in some of our draft tournaments at the Clutch Academy. And I mean, what made y'all pick him up? What was like the thought process? I know we're kind of jumping into this. But what was that?
We needed a fourth, and roster mania was going on, and Piggy suggested playing with Ezo. And when we played in the tournament, like honestly, it just like felt really natural playing with him. Like he's a aggressive player. I like to think he complements my playstyle a lot.
Okay, cool. I can see that.
He's like one of those players who like you get along with really well. Like everybody on my team at this point is like one of those players who like I want to play for them, not just myself.
Yeah.
But he's like overall he's just like a really chill dude, like really funny. Like you can just make jokes like get along with, and
Sure.
not only that, like he's disgusting. So
Oh yeah, he's great. It's fun to
he's
watch.
disgusting. So
Yeah, it's great to watch. Like we had him in I think 2 draft tournaments ago, so that would be putting us July, August, yeah, I think July, and he won the whole tournament. But we had the cam on him the whole time, you know, the observer, and just
I'm
watching.
not surprised.
Yeah, it was amazing. So it's a great pickup, and I don't think anybody would say that we're surprised and that he's one of the next up, so to speak, as you'd say. Kind of like reminiscent to you, kind of coming out of nowhere, maybe. I mean, you're younger than him though, but I would say that like you're like the veteran of the team. So I'm pretty sure if I know everybody's a veteran in their own right, but in this series, I guess you would say Halo Infinite, you're in the highest placing of the 4 guys on your team, and you're sort of the veteran of the team. So I could see him going under your wing quite quickly.
Under my wing.
Yeah, under your under your wing, so to speak. And,
Honestly, like everything that like we've been doing, all the film that we go through, everybody has their own way of playing the game. If like one of my teammates are slower paced, that's fine. If one of my teammates are faster paced, like that's fine. It's just like I want us to get on the same page as a team during team situations, not like how we individually play stuff. So with this team, it's mainly just like timing our fights, timing our pushes, like making sure that we're like being strong players and staying alive on the map and giving ourselves opportunities to live. There's good deaths and bad deaths, but like there's a lot of times where like how often are we gonna die or like good? Like it's so much better to live. Like I guess like in my head, like my philosophy on like how I play the game.
Yeah.
Like I feel like living, as long as you're not baiting your teammates to live, like
Yeah, right.
it's so much more beneficial for the team, especially if you're living in like good positions and good scenarios.
With that in mind, so what do you think is a strength in your team? So I could see all of y'all have shots. I know Piggy's real fundamental. A lot of people like to say that about him. Envor is kind of a mixture. I feel like he's an X Factor player for sure.
Yeah, definitely is.
Degree. Of course, you and Ezo, I would say y'all both are X Factor players, but y'all both are very aggressive, at least from my experience of watching y'all play. And aggressive could mean a lot of different things, right? Obviously, it's smart aggression.
As of right now, is a very like a hyper aggressive player. Sometimes that's his double-edged sword. It's like a really strong thing of him,
right?
And it also like harms him. Honestly, like that's kind of like what I like about him. Like that he's like just a hyper aggressive player. I would consider myself aggressive, but like over the period of time, I like to pride myself off being a lot more yin and yang. Like I like to be aggressive I like to be hyper aggressive, but I also like being really passive and like finding myself in like good spots and like trying not to throw it away. Like I'm still very like ADHD. Like I need to like I need to do something. I need to like run somewhere. But like I've gotten to the point where like I'm trying to be very methodical in that sense of like when we push something, like I'm flying. But like when we're not, like I'm not gonna be the one to push it.
Nonsense. This man is absolutely insane.
I've never seen a player touch the back blue wall of pre-charge until Descendant flies through with the super G slide.
I just want to be really fundamentally sound and like just like individually disgusting.
Right. When you need to be, you can do.
Yeah, like when I need to be cracked, like I'm doing the craziest shit. Like the key door jump backwards while putting my like strong siding, like putting my head down. But like when I need to be fundamentally sound, I just walk up with my gun up, like put down damage, stay alive, like jiggle peek it, don't do too much.
Watch this in-game sequence here from Descendant. So Precision pushes up, gets the word on these players. I don't know how Descendant even got the camo in the first place, but he's just up here. They're looking for him. He's above. Look at them. They're all just floundering, trying to look up. They get some shots on him, but it's too late. The rest of Complexity pushed in and swarmed, and they've got nowhere to go, looking like ants scurrying around in the ground while he just flies above them like an eagle. What a crazy in-game that was.
That's what I really like about Spencer, like the way he plays the game. Like he's a very like damage dependent person. Like he just plays based off damage. Very fundamentally sound. Same thing with the Envoy. Everybody on this team's really good, like fundamentally. It's just us getting on the same page.
Going into your journey as a player. So can you share your journey from being an amateur player to becoming a professional? And I know that's it might seem long-winded for you and a long time ago, even though you're only you're 19, 18. So that was, like half your life ago. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So talk about that, your journey from being amateur to pro, and maybe some things that you think some people could take from that, like some younger players nowadays.
I started competing at 13. My first event, it was like 2019 UGC St. Louis. Got double first rounded, absolutely demolished. Shit slammed. Yeah, absolutely slammed. I think the main thing was like I just sit consistent, and I was always like searching for someone who would teach me how to play the game. I was like, I need somebody to teach me the fundamentals because this is not the way like this game is supposed to be played.
Right. That's smart of you for a young cat, for sure.
I don't know. Like thinking back on my journey, I definitely would change some things. Probably just spend more time with family, friends. Like I'm definitely like happy for it because like it's like I am where I am today because of it. I've been doing this for a while, and it's like I'm not gonna quit anytime soon. But it's like I need to make something happen. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my end goal is to like truly be like part of the list, like the top 25 of all time. Like that's undoubtedly like my main goal. I want to become like one on the top 25 of all time. I want to make this a sustainable career. I truly enjoy competing. I'm just a competitive person. I just want to compete.
Right.
Like even if it's not in this game, like I need to compete.
Got you.
Like it doesn't matter if I'm gonna be COD or something. Like I just need to be playing against someone else.
Got it.
I guess like that's like my main thing. Like being able to do this as a living, compete against other people, and like we all have that same goal of like the end game of like wanting to win. It's a blessing. Like it's a blessing to be able to do this. So
yeah, 100%. It is. I think all the hard work building it up, and you're just like, let me just get to the top now. And I mean, the peak is
it's all part of the journey.
So let me ask you, so with that in mind, you're talking about like learning from players and whatnot. Would you say that like playing with Complexity and how that transition between like going from, let's say, any other team you had before? I know you were on Luminosity for a little while. You're on a couple of other teams, and then you got on Complexity with Ryan Noob, and then of course now you're on Dead Inside. But with Complexity, was that kind of like, I wouldn't say a turning point, but did you find a quote unquote coach in Ryan? I know there was obviously.
I was on.
You good?
I teamed with Ryan on Shopify.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Like I eventually did find my teacher. The person who taught me, Ryan did teach me an absolute shit ton. Outside of him, like who taught me a lot was like Simply Fear Me. Probably don't know who that
I
is.
know who that is. I know.
You know who that is?
I have a good friend
Yeah.
that actually was cool with him back in like Halo 3. They used to hang out and stuff. That's cool.
Shout out Had. That guy's a goat.
I think you could see the changes in your gameplay from before you played with Ryan to when you're running with Ryan for the X amount of time. How long were y'all playing on the same team for, roughly speaking? A couple of months, almost a year, right?
Like a year and a half, maybe.
A year and a half. Wow. So you did get.
No, like okay, so like we teamed on Shopify. We teamed for 7 months. It was like 3 or 4 months later, we started teaming on Complexity. So
okay, so there's that little gap, and then y'all. Okay,
it was like a little gap for 3 or 4 months, and then we started teaming on Complexity. And on Complexity, like I was on Complexity for at that point already like a year. Outside of the bittersweet ending, like I'm extremely grateful for like the opportunity that I had. Like I learned absolutely so much, and like it'd be disrespectful to not give him his credit.
Disservice.
Like
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a disservice for me to sit here and be like, oh, he didn't do shit. Like he did a lot.
Yeah.
So just give him his flowers where it's due.
10 seconds required. Ryan Noob locks in one. Two players spawn over towards side. Ryan Noob! You filthy animal! Complexity claim round number 1.
And a cheeky grin on the face of Ryan Noob because he enjoyed that one.
For Dead Inside, this transitioning, you're kind of like, again, like I said, the veteran. What do you think about that? Are they asking you questions, or what's going on with that?
Luckily, I have a great coach.
Yeah, okay.
Callus, shout out to Callus. That guy is top 3 coach in the game.
Okay.
Top 3 coach in the game, undisputedly.
Oh, really?
I think he's undisputedly. Out of all the coaches I've ever had, he's the best. On this team, we've made him comfortable enough to be very vocal about it. We're all humble enough to understand that like everybody has their own ideas, and like when my teammate makes a play call, like we're talking about it in film, it's like, yeah, I think you should have done this. I think you should push C-Plot here. I could have like pushed it with you. And it's like, I don't think we should push C-Plot. Like we could just maintain map control. He's like, oh yeah, these guys are weak. Like we just overtake that space. And it's like, I don't agree with that play. I don't agree with that call, but I trust you, so I'll still do it.
Yeah.
But I don't like agree with the call.
Yeah.
I'll still do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still do it.
I'm down.
Like I trust you, but I don't trust your call.
Yeah,
I'll still do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
It's like I don't, and that's like I think like an important thing that like this team has. Is like even if we disagree with like a shot call or a play, like we still like trust each other enough to do it.
Right.
And if it fails and like I didn't agree with it and it fails, it's not like, oh, I told you so. Right. It's like, all right, look, it didn't work. This is what we're practicing. Like, let's do it my way.
Yeah, let's try it out.
And if it works, then I might be, yeah, you, it worked.
It's better than yours last time. I got you.
Yeah, it worked.
But let's go ahead and go into another piece of this interview, like going into the warm-up routine. Like, let's say, what's your typical warm-up routine, like before a tournament versus a scrim? What are you kind of going into? Are you just doing matchmaking? Are you shooting bots?
I just shoot bots.
Shooting bots.
I just shoot bots. Yeah.
Is there anything specific that you do with the bots? Do you put like, let's say, a limitless ammo with no deaths, or is there anything like that you could pick up?
There's like this. I think Scoopmeister made it.
The aim bots thing.
Yeah, the aimbot thing. The aimbot labs map. That's all I do.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll just do that.
And then
I don't really like to play matchmaking or any of that. I don't play matchmaking often.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, you just kind of do that and then scrims.
Yeah, that scrims and like I'll grind matchmaking sometimes, but honestly, like I don't know. This game's just like matchmaking wise is just so boring. I can't do it.
I believe it. Yeah, I could see that 100%. So let's go ahead and with that in mind, do you have any specific drills or exercises you focus on to prepare yourself before the events, like or scrims, like physically or mentally?
Like during scrims?
Yeah, like let's say we just get some coffee. All right, I know some people drink caffeine.
Are you talking about like a pre-game, like pre-tournament ritual?
Yeah, maybe like a pre-tournament where you eat some eggs and bacon.
You're talking about like not like practice, but you're just talking about like a pre-tournament or
mental and physical
ritual.
Yeah. Let's see. What do you?
Let's see. Tournament days, like I'll wake up, cold shower. I'll try to like walk around a little bit. Usually it's like cold shower, pray, and like I'll walk around a little bit. I'll walk around like the venue. Try to get something to eat. DoorDash like fruits. Like I'm very strict. Like I'm trying to be very strict on my diet. Like during tournament days.
The reason for that? Kind of cutting you out, but.
I ate an entire cake for yeah, I'm not joking about
Okay,
this. I ate like an entire cake. It was when I was on Shopify. We were playing native for top 4. I was just so hungry, and I ate like entire cake. Not the entire thing, probably like half the entire cake.
Fair enough.
And that shit knocked me out.
Oh, like you were tired, like you knocked, like you.
Dude, I literally chugged a Red. I literally chugged a Red Bull before my match, and I'm laying down in my chair. I'm like, eyes closed after chugging the Red Bull, and my eyes. I'm like trying to keep my eyes open, and I can't. My teammate is doing everything to keep us in this game, fighting for top 4, and I'm just getting slammed. I don't know what the is happening. And from there, it's like, all right, bro. I'm never doing that again.
You're gonna control the variables, so to speak.
Yeah. So like that shit happens again. I'm doing something. I'm doing something.
That's crazy, bro.
Dude. But yeah, that taught me a lesson.
There you go. So no cakes for Worlds until after.
Yeah, so, very stupid enemy. Like I should have known better. So I'll try to stick with like fruits. Like I like sticking with fruit, like beef jerky, protein bars, apples. Apples are a very huge one for me. But outside of that, like it's pretty much just like protein bars, beef jerky, and fruit.
Light, kind of light.
Yeah, just light stuff.
What are your goals and plans for upcoming Worlds? And if there's a next season, what are your plans and how are you preparing for it? So let's start with Worlds. What do you think?
Worlds. Main goal, top 6. In the sense of like, obviously like, oh, we can't win it or some shit.
Yeah.
But my main like bare minimum that I'd be okay with is like mainly for the sake of like how long have we been as a team.
Yeah.
The realistic expectations that we have.
Yeah.
I think top 6 is extremely doable, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, we're getting top 2. We're getting top 3. SSG.
Who's that? SSG.
FaZe.
Right. Yeah.
Like, nah. I'm gonna be honest about it. It's like, yeah, I think top 6 is doable. I think Complex is like pretty like a doable team to beat. I think Pure is a doable team to beat. I think like everybody. I said before, like everybody could be anybody.
So yeah, I think top 6 would be great. See y'all get there. So and then after post Worlds, I'm pretty sure we kind of got hinted by Tashi that we're gonna have a year.
Yeah.
More.
I'm pretty sure there's another year after this.
So we have ranked matchmaking, which you kind of said earlier was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really great. And the difference between that and like, let's say scrims, the difference between that and like tournaments in person, and then finally like 8s, like pickup games with 4v4 pickup games.
The thing that everybody can do to get better is probably 8s. Like it's like not everybody can like get a full team to scrim.
Right.
So I guess like if I was still on the come up and like trying to improve, I would just keep playing 8s. There's no point in playing matchmaking if you can't communicate to your other teammates, and the other team's not communicating to each other, and it's like. Right. You get away with too many stupid shit. Like you're able to just walk out bottom mid when there's like you're all alive on the map, and like if you're playing like the outskirts of the bottom mid, like you'll probably make a play.
Yeah,
that just happens too often. Like you could kill somebody across the map, and like you don't get called out, so you just catch someone else off guard. It's like that shit is not realistic at all.
Yeah. 100%.
In it's you just get punished a lot more for plays that you would probably get punished for. Also in like tournament gameplay.
Right.
It's nowhere near as like similar as tournament gameplay, but matchmaking is like even farther off, so I would just play 8s.
Matchmaking is for people to just maybe learn. Maybe what would you say that people could learn from matchmaking? Maybe spawns.
When I played matchmaking a lot,
yeah,
it was mainly to just max out my individual capability.
Right.
Sense of like just being as good and as disgusting I can be individually.
Yeah.
Because like people in matchmaking can like shoot back a little bit. Everybody can shoot in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to like try to outmaneuver, out finesse, outshoot, just like try to max that out.
Gotcha. And then when you go into like the next level would be 8s, then you can do the communication aspect and all that stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, the communication aspect is probably more important than actually to an extent.
Yeah, to a degree.
No, to an extent, like having good comms, like having good comms is extremely underrated. It makes you a very like sought after teammate, even if you're not that really good individually.
Yeah.
As long as you're decent individually, and if you have really good comms, like you're already above like already a part of like the top 1%.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that even in my gameplay. Whenever I'm like in 8s in the Clutch Academy, right, where we have 8s, different levels and sections. My matchmaking rank is like 1600. Whenever I'm running alone, it's like average there. But whenever I play in the 8s, our ranking system, I'm like a 45, and relatively speaking, it's like an 1850 on like the season 6, season 5 level. And anybody above a 40 is like a 1750 based off of that, because the comms, the control over the map, the variables, the things that you're talking about. And I think a lot of people don't realize that it does. If you're going to a tournament, I mean, they don't care how good you are at matchmaking if you're like the best player communicative wise in actual, in a game when you're doing 4v4. And that's the difference between winning and losing, because somebody could play off your comms differently, right? Like you get a comm, Jason, and it makes you play differently because of that communication that you got. So yeah, I think that's good. And then when you go to scrims, what's the difference there with you and your teammates now that you're outside of 8s?
I guess like the main difference is like we're a cohesive unit. We're trying to be a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Like we're making plays together. We're saying each other's names. Like we have things to work on. Like we're a team. We play together like every day. So it's like, I don't know. It's just different. Like you don't play with the same people in 8s every day.
Right.
Like, and like you can probably get a team like from 8s and like form that as an actual team and just work with each other. Like there's not that much of a difference behind like outside of like cohesiveness, like just playing the game with each other.
Just the scrims aspect of it, you build a team like chemistry over time. It's probably where the biggest difference is between 8s, because you're not consistent usually.
Yeah, you're not like playing with those guys every single day, getting the same team.
Yeah, and then it makes a huge difference there. But let me ask you one last one. In respect to that, like in the tournament environment, what's the biggest difference between that and scrims? What would you say?
Pacing,
like a mentally versus physically, right? So some people just like shock out when they're in a tournament environment because it makes them more nervous or things of that nature. What have you kind of seen in that environment that's different from, like, let's say scrims? Obviously, it's LAN versus online.
Yeah, I think the main thing that changes a lot during tournaments online is pacing. I think a lot of people slow down. I think a lot of people get more nervous. They just don't play the way they would online.
Got it.
Just like understandable. Like you just get punished a lot more, like a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the mental aspect of LAN isn't really that big of a deal.
Okay.
I think it's more or less like getting your reps in. Like the more times you do it, like you'll pretty much feel at home.
Got it. So the more often, just get the reps in each of those.
Yeah, just get the reps in. Like even if you're playing at local LAN events and you have people crowding behind you, it's the exact same feeling as playing on LAN. I guess like the passion pit is probably more nerve wracking than than like the side stations or main stage.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, because like you have like people like close enough to breathe down your neck.
Yeah.
No, I feel bad for the passion pit.
Passion pit's like
I feel bad for the passion pit. Hate that place.
The hell pit. To kind of close out, the ways that you're saying, like for 4v4 8s in general, is good for amateur players because it puts you in a position where you have to communicate, and that's more in line with like actual tournament play and actual scrims and whatnot. Of course, you don't get the cohesive networking of like learning each play by play with your teammates, but the 8s aspect makes you build the character of a better communicating individual, which makes you a better teammate overall. Outside of that, I mean, can you be specific about how amateurs can improve their gameplay? And then we could close out with that.
I think the main thing that helped me was trying to find somebody to help me improve. So like I was just watching a lot of other people's gameplay. Usually I would watch the people who like build the foundation of my gameplay off of.
Okay.
Right? Like a lot of people would just watch like their favorite players and just try to copy them.
Yeah.
Was that like watch your favorite players, try to copy it? Like why are they better than you? What do they do that's better than you? And like if you're watching their gameplay on a consistent basis, you're gonna start realizing a lot more. Especially like if you're watching your gameplay and like their gameplay and just like literally comparing it. It's like look at the situations that you play it. For example, like when you're watching Renegade or something, it's like okay, like he puts 2 shots on this guy, then he immediately looks another way while like cutting off his angle, so this guy who just got done shooting doesn't shoot back at him, and he's already watching another angle.
That's a good point, though, because you put in the damage, Renegade, and keeping it back, like it makes it harder for them to fight any other fight. So he's like, it's going to make everybody that team weaker, basically. And
your presence is more known on the map. like you shot this guy 2 times, and now you're already shooting or looking at somebody else, and it's like this guy isn't just focusing on me. Like this guy's like he's like cutting off multiple lanes as like a one person.
Yeah, so you would recommend amateur players to obviously look at their own gameplay, play 8s more than they play matchmaking because matchmaking is not real.
No, don't play matchmaking. I don't know. So some people would probably say play matchmaking, but like
I'd rather hear what you.
I'm a full blown hater.
Yeah.
This isn't Halo 3. This isn't Halo 5. Don't play matchmaking.
Yeah.
In those games, sure, play matchmaking, but this game, no.
Right. Different.
Yeah, 8s, scrims, tournaments, obviously.
Games.
Yeah, everybody has like a foundation of like how they play the game. Like some players, before they even watch competitive gameplay, they're more passive than other players.
Yeah.
Like if they try to play more aggressive, like they don't feel comfortable. That's fine. Watch somebody who's extremely passive and how they make it work. How are they so able to be that good even with their passive playstyle? And like if you're an extremely hyper aggressive player, like
maybe look at
watch
that.
Yeah, watch a player who's very extremely hyper aggressive, who like reminds you of them, or like they remind you of you or whatever. And how do they make it work? Like that. That's like how I think about it.
Okay. Hey, that's a very good point. You keep on bringing good points. So this will be the last question, and don't bring any other good points. And if you do, I'll ask you later.
Okay.
So if you had to say you have the hyper aggressive player and then you have a passive, could you name 3 or maybe 3 of the streamers that you would recommend? So like I don't know what Boobadoo is in my head. I guess he's more passive, but I'm just kind of throwing rocks out.
So like
go ahead.
Hyper aggressive players found surprisingly Snakebite, and I want to say either Legend or Druck. Druck is extremely hyper aggressive player.
Yeah, he is. I've seen him. Yeah.
Like those are players who are like hyper aggressive.
Got it.
I guess like more or less on the passive side of things.
Mm-hmm.
You got like Royal 2.
Mm-hmm.
Stellar is like I don't know. He Stellar's a very yin and yang player. He's aggressive when he needs to be, but he's also very passive too. He's able to be aggressive because he has like 2 hyper aggressive players on his team.
Yeah.
And like he just like plays off of it, or sometimes he even gives his own like openings to do it. Like he just plays his lane like very strong.
Right.
Tapping buttons isn't also like extremely like passive player.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of yin and yang, I would say, esque players. Like I think Renegade like early on in the game was extremely like he was like a hyper aggressive player, but since like last year and like even like this year, he's been like more yin yang-ish.
Okay.
Like he's aggressive when he needs to be, but like he doesn't like over push his boundaries.
Right. A little more
he's like passive too. What suits your boat? Like, do you like being aggressive? That's fine. You like being passive? That's fine.
Okay, that's cool. And I think you said you were a yin and yang player, so you, Stellar.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as a yin and yang player.
I think Lucid's kind of like that too. Sometimes he.
Yeah. Wait. I just got Lucid. Lucid, very yin yang-ish player. And funny enough, Phorm was a very hyper aggressive player.
Really? I would think he was passive. That's crazy. Okay.
He is a very hyper aggressive player, but the funny thing about his aggression is that he doesn't run at you. He just walks at you.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. It's very funny because like I don't know. He's really good.
Well, yeah, thank you. That was a good note to finish off on, Jason. It's been a pleasure having you here. Second interview for this, and I think a lot of AMAMs, younger guys, and everybody else will enjoy this. And of course, your time is precious. So thanks for giving us that time. I mean, we hope you do really well in Worlds. I'll see you there. I'll see everybody there.
Hope I don't get pissed on too.
I hope you don't get pissed on. Yeah, top 6. That would be great. We're rooting for you. And Team Dead Inside with 9 Day Quill. As being one of the heads there, we have Mr. Piggy. We got Ezzo, whatever, easy one, or what did you say?
Ezzo, the easy ho.
And then
all good.
And then Mr. Envor. So with Lee, Lee, Spencer, Ezzo, Jason, y'all knock it out, guys. And Callus, great coach. We heard it here first. So yeah, thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Anything you want to leave off on?
Shout out to my teammates.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dead Inside for biting the bullet and taking us to Salt Lake City. So I was not going to go to that event if I had paid. So yeah, shout out.
Thanks, Jason. Everybody, thanks for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Shout out to Clutch Academy.
Oh, appreciate it. Y'all can go ahead. Go ahead. What do you say? What's going on?
So make sure you join the Discord, Clutch Academy 8s.
Oh yeah. And then we're gonna
put that in the link below.
Oh, 100%. And don't forget that we have Jason coming here pretty often, and after Worlds, more than likely we'll ask him to come by and do
Yeah, I'll
some
probably be
lessons.
playing a lot more.
You can find him in Metafy. You can find him on Twitter under, I think it's Descendant now, just straight up, or what is it exactly?
Descendant with 2 Ds.
Descendant with,
Like,
that's right.
2 Ds in the middle.
Gotcha. So you can find him on Twitter, on X, if you want to call it that. Twitch, of course, he'll be streaming. In Clutch Academy, you can ask him questions when, especially after Worlds, and more. So again, thank you for watching, everybody. Y'all have a blessed day. And Jason, I will see you at Worlds, brother.
All right, guys.
Catch you.
On the needle side, it's the oddball at top A, and it gets reset. Complexity with their last chance. 15 seconds needed for Quadrant to win. Descendant hits another headshot.
Was that shot?
Doing his best snipe drone impersonation. We saw him pop off earlier in this series. It's how Quadrant built a big lead. Do Complexity have a big comeback in mind? They might just as Descendant rips another soul.